See my fireplace? It's kind of cold right now. I'm kidding, it's like -4 outside. Oh my god. And the weird thing is that it was 71 degrees on Sunday and it's only Tuesday, and yesterday was even colder. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the weather or about my awesome fireplace or anything else, or the fact that you can probably hear my dishwasher running in the background. I'm here to talk to you about Gruvia. I promised Maria I would make a... I didn't turn that on. So I was boiling eggs, and apparently when I turned it off, I didn't actually turn it off. I turned on the back burner and turned the tea kettle on. Oops. You know what? It's cold, but I don't feel like wearing that really big jacket thing, so we're just gonna do it like this. Okay, so back to what I was trying to say. I promised Maria that if she would make a Gruvia video, that I would make one too. So since she did, I have to. Bummer. Not really. Let's try this again. I haven't talked to you guys about Gruvia since the I'm Here With You moment, and that means it's been quite a while, since January. A large part of the Tartaros arc has actually been about Gray and his father. Gruvia was right in the middle of it. Silver reached out to her so that she could kill Keith, because if she didn't, then Face was going to activate, but at the same time he was going to die, which was something that Gray could not do. So, to help Gray, Silver laid that task on Gruvia, someone that he could obviously tell Gray trusted and meant a lot to Gray, because not only did he see them during the Grand Magic Games, he also saw Gray protect her from Silver himself when he was trying to put her on ice. Gruvia as the person who he is not only going to have defeat Keith and thus destroy the connection between the Necromancer and Silver's corpse, thus killing him again, but also the person that he's going to leave Gray in the hands of, meaning that he somehow can see that Gruvia and Gray have enough of a connection, and that Gruvia and Gray take care of each other enough that he trusts her to take care of his son. And now Gray is off on this kind of vendetta thing, but not really. It's more like he's trying to achieve what his father wanted to do all this time, because his father saved him from his own demons. He was trying to make it out so that Gray would think that he was Deloria, so that Gray could finally overcome that, that pain that he has from all of the things that Deloria has stolen from him. And because of that respect and that understanding, Gray wants to finish what his dad started when he wanted to destroy all of the demons, that he wanted to destroy Tartaros, that he wants to defeat End, that he wants to stop Face. And that leads us up to where we are now, with Gray fighting and Natsu fighting, and Gruvia is on Gajil's back, and she's going off to Porluskia, I can't even say her name, the lady, the cranky lady, to be healed, I guess. The thing is that I really genuinely hope, and I know that this sounds terrible of me, but I really hope that we get some kind of explanation about exactly what's going on with Gruvia, because how is she okay for like 4 chapters able to, she was the one commenting on the dragons, not Lucy. She was the one who went from seeming to be in control of herself to being scared stiff. And now, for some reason, she's back to having to be carried. I really hope that we get something from this when she goes in to be healed. So maybe even at the end where someone just says, you know, she should be dead. But Gruvia should be dead. I'm sorry. She just should. She's been poisoned twice. She took in all of that stuff from Keith. There has to be either an explanation as to why she's still holding on, whether it's sheer willpower or something to do with her water-type body that allows her to filter these things out, or I don't know. I can't accept this. I don't know. There has to be something else to this. Like all the other Gruvia fans, I am extremely excited and ready already for us to get the Gruvia reunion. And I was hoping that by the end of the year we would have gotten it this, but now I'm not so sure, because now we brought in the Sabertooth's old master, and so now we have to finish that plot line along with End and Mardgrir and Tartaros and Face and Igneal and Acnologia, and then heal everybody. We still got a whole circle to go. And here I thought Tartaros was almost over. what I really want to focus on is not this chapter, but the chapter before. Something that Gray said at the end. When he gave Natsu back his scarf, he told Natsu that if it's important to you, you have to hold on to it. And to me, this is such a big deal. Okay, so he wasn't necessarily talking about Gruvia, but what I like to think now is that this is something that is a big deal for Gray, because he spent all of this time still somehow, even though he said that he wasn't going to use Ice Shell, even though he said that he wanted to live with his friends, he's shown us 2 times since then that he still doesn't really value his life. Ultir, or before he defeated Ultir, promising over Juvia's body that he was never going to use Ice Shell again, that he was going to live for his friends. He dies for Gruvia in the Grand Magic Games and comes back to life just by stroke of luck. And then again, he has the thought process of using Ice Shell in the Tartaros arc. Gray still does not have a value at that point to his own life. But that's what happens when his father comes into play, because now he sees that someone, despite all this hurt, despite all these things, despite what happened to him, was trying to defend his son. He wanted to save his son from all of this pain. And Gray has learned from that he needs to hold on to what's important. He can't just let it slip away. But in order to do that, he has to be alive. So I like to think that Gray was that special thing for his father, and his father is very special to him. But Gray has other things now that he can still tangibly hold on to, that he needs to hold on to. It's kind of symbolic that what he gave back to Natsu was the scarf, because the scarf is what Gray went and ran after in the 413 chapter. It's what reminded him of and what connected and Gruvia together as an important person in Gray's life. The scarf is being brought up again to bring up the idea of warmth, to bring up the idea of connection, to bring up the idea of importance. That scarf is something very special to Natsu, just the same way that the scarf that Gruvia gave him reminded him of an extremely special memory of and made him want to go back and get the scarf. In the next chapter, we have the little comment that Gray has gotten rid of his warmth, and we all know that Gruvia has become the warmth for Gray. So I don't take that as Gray's tossed aside all of his feelings. That obviously isn't the case. What it is right now, what would have made him, he gave away a part of himself in releasing his father, and that is what allowed him to take on the Devil Slayer powers. So now that he has those powers, there's only one other option left for his warmth, and that's going to be Gruvia. Now, we all know that this is going to be a really emotional reunion, and I, for one, am extremely excited for it. I just want it to happen already, because I'm just so tired. There's so much going on in the Tartaros arc, and I don't want Mashima to get into that problem where he's battling, or not battling really, but putting in so many plot lines that he can't even keep up and finish his own story. In every arc, something happens that brings them a little bit closer together. When they first met, Gruvia saw him, and she thought he was gorgeous, and she fell in love with him for, I would say, the wrong reasons. And after that arc, we have the kind of the shy, sticking to the background, wanting to say something but not able to say something, all the way up until the Tenrojima arc. When she was still a little shy, she wanted to tell Gray that she wanted to be on his team, and that was why she wanted to drop out of the S-Class exam. But Gray challenged her instead and said, no, I want to fight you, so make sure that you do a good job. Through the battles that they had with Meredi and Ultir, their relationship became a lot closer. Gruvia became a lot more active when they came back after the 7-year time skip. She asked Gray out to dinner. They had a little bit more interaction that wasn't so based on viewing Gray from the background, viewing Gray as this idol. She kind of had a better picture of him as a human. And Gray became a person, but it's still the same goal that she wanted. She wanted his affection, because that's Gruvia has a view of him that he doesn't even have of himself. He saved her, and he doesn't even really realize it. But at the same time, she's been saving him all this time. So in the Grand Magic Games, you have Gruvia willing to challenge him. They work together. There's a lot more initiated contact on Gray's part. You can see how they've formed as a team, that their teamwork is just seamless. There's even the mention, that's where we get the mention of their unspoken bond. And then from there, even despite Gray's rejection, at the end of it, we see him becoming even closer to Gruvia. He's comforting her now. He's saving her even though he isn't anywhere nearby. He's thinking about her before he's supposed to be casting a spell that's supposed to end his life, and then he apologizes. Then we get Juvia's side of it. When she gets involved with Keith, she keeps her calm despite the threats to Gray, which is a complete opposite of what she did with Manatee, so that she can listen in and see what's going on with Gray, so that she can keep track. As long as Keith is talking, Gray is still okay. Then Juvia takes on a task that Gray can't complete. She completes it for him, and she's in tears because she knows that she's hurt him so much. And she is so hurt by the fact that that was her own doing. She wants to be forgiven. She needs to talk to her Gray-sama, but he's just not there. And then when Gray comes back and he doesn't say anything to her, or he doesn't stick around to see if she's okay, obviously Juvia is slowly starting to believe even more that she's not worthy anymore, that she's done something terrible, that she might not even be able to be forgiven. She knows that he's hurting. And I think that that's why she keeps mentioning him, and that she wants to see him, and that's probably part of the reason that Mashima keeps bringing her kind of back and letting her say, Gray-sama, 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 because he's trying to remind us that Juvia knows Gray is hurting. Despite all the hurt that she's feeling right now, she knows Gray is hurting, and we saw from the 413-day special that Juvia's own personal emotions don't mean as much to her as it is when she's has a feeling that she's done something to hurt Gray. The fact that Gray is hurting is her main concern, not the fact that she's hurting and that she won't be forgiven. The fact that Gray is hurting and that she is the reason for it. We've waited a long time for resolution on a huge problem, and I don't think that Mashima is just going to kind of let it slither by as nothing. Now, I have to make this video shorter than I probably should, but I have a chapter of Seas of Change to go right for everybody. You're welcome. That's going to take me a while because I only have a page written so far, and this chapter is going to be a monster. So I'm going to go off and do my little fan fiction thing, and I will talk to you guys later.